maybe at one point it was relatively nice, but its yard is overgrown. It looks like it hasn't been tended to in at least a year or so. The windows are boarded up with a gigantic X on the boards. The front door has two 2x4s nailed to either side, so they form an X. And as you kind of look around the block, you can see the entire block has this exact same boarding up on every single door in this block.
Do you recognize your house?
She goes, I think this, and she points at the one that you guys have pulled up in front of. She kind of points out and she goes, I think this one looks, I think I remember it. It's been so long now. It's been a couple of months.
Okay, well, let's go knock on the door. There's nothing wrong with checking. Let's go. I get out of the car. Well, I'm assuming we parked.
You have to wait until I find a parking spot before you get out of the car.
Well, there's plenty of parking spots. The street's kind of empty.
Does
It's kinda
anyone still
scary.
live here? As I park in front?
Well, I mean, we're gonna check to see if her mom's here, so we'll see if anybody lives here. I get out of the car. Was anybody gonna go with me, or did you guys want to wait in the car?
Well,
We might as well
Kara-
go with,
yeah.
in case you do something stupid again.
I'm gonna ignore that because that was very mean of you to say, and I don't appreciate it. But I'm not gonna say something mean to you, so I'll just ignore it.
She looks up and she goes, that's why Aoife's better than robots. Because Aoife's not mean.
Aoife didn't find your house, did she? So I'm gonna get out of the car and start walking up to the house.
You only found it because you're a machine. And you did machine voodoo on it.
So I go up to the front porch and walk up the porch. There's no actual door, is there? Or did it?
Yeah, there is a door. It has 2x4s that are painted red, laid over each other in the form of an X.
Breaking in the front door is not a smart idea in case people walk by and see it's broken into. Is there a back of the house I can get around to, or is it like...
Every window is boarded up with 2x4s with a spray painted X on it, and the back, you can easily get to the back of the house, but even the back door has 2x4s crossing over the door with painted red.
Back door is not apparent to the street. I break in the back door.
I was just gonna knock. I knock on the door, the front door.
Knock is louder.
Oh dear.
Or
I heard door out of that, but there's clearly someone else in the house, so oh god, what was the mother's name? I don't fucking remember. I wrote this down. Neva, I think it was. I'm just gonna announce, hey, Neva, your daughter's out front.
You hear a groan. You were also able to hear the coughing and the person responding to the knock at the front door. You hear a groaning sound, but not much of a response outside of the initial coughing and groan. This is directed at 4 since you've breached the back door, so you would have a better ability to hear. Aoife, you don't hear the groan. You hear the coughing and the asking of who is it.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Nothing out of the ordinary for what I can see in this house. Or is it just...
Give me a perception check. Inspired condition, perception. Now, what you're able to see, despite it being very, very dark in the house, as no lights seem to be present, what you're looking into right now seems to be a kitchen of sorts. But it doesn't look like a kitchen that's had much use. As you kind of peer in, you can see a couple of hallways, but all the lights are completely turned out from what you can tell inside the house. The only light is what comes through the boarded up windows.
Okay, so nothing actually useful yet. I guess I just kind of hold here and ask if you... I'm gonna ask, should we bring the child in, or...
Oh, you hear kind of a moaning sound. How do you have my daughter?
Does 4 know about lying?
I
Aoife,
think we all know about them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Aoife, you haven't heard any response outside of the initial coughing and asking who's there. Anything that any other noise that's coming from inside the building, you can't, or the house, you can't hear at this time. So outside of that initial response, you haven't heard anything else. How would you want to respond to the initial situation, you and Craig?
I heard a cough. And I don't think that was 4 coughing.
I don't think 4 coughs.
No. He just yells and complains. He's already in. I'm pretty sure if he was in trouble, we would have heard gunshots already. So I think he's in trouble. Maybe we should just go through the back too?
I guess we would not be, out on the street anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's fine. We heard coughing, and I'm pretty sure 4 would have given us a sign if he was in trouble. Maybe he's just having a hard time opening the front door. Well, how about you go to the back or through the back, and I'll stay with Kira?
Mhm.
Is that okay? And I'll stay here with Kira, just in case. There's coughing, so we don't want her to get sick.
She begins tugging on your shirt, Aoife, and she goes, "Pick me up."
Okay. I pick her up.
As she wraps her arms around you and just lays her head on yours. Craig, are you heading around to the back?
Yeah, he'll head around to the back.
You can see Four hasn't entered the house yet, but he has gotten the back door open and is looking inside.
And then whenever I would reply, I'd reply to the person, yeah, we found her captured at some Ashwood Abbey. We were there for unrelated reasons and decided to break her out, as it did not seem like she wanted to be there. In doing so, we decided to return the child to her parents here.
You hear another explosion of coughing. You can guess that she was trying to respond, but the coughing overrid whatever she was trying to say, really. After a few seconds, the coughing subsides again, but you don't hear any other words.
Come again?
You hear another groan, and she goes, "She wasn't captured." Ugh.
Well, it certainly seemed like it.
Craig, at this point, you can obviously hear a lot better now. You can actually hear her when she speaks normally. Aoife, you can only hear another coughing fit, but you can't really hear her words from the front door. While you guys carry on this conversation, though, it is around this time of day that Banba and Forsaken make it to the nearest vet office. It was slow going, having to walk there. But you've made it now.
Cool. How does it look? A lot of activity or no?
Roll me a perception.
Can't just see things.
Resolve plus composure. Oh, wait, sorry. Wits plus composure, sorry. Blech. My bad. Now, what you see is a empty parking lot with the exception of a single car. The perception check allows you to know that from the look of this vet hospital, the dirty, unwashed windows, the unkept grass feature for what you would assume dogs use for their bathroom, you can tell that while this place does have its open sign, lit up, this place probably hasn't seen business in a while. As you make your way up to the front door, you come to a point where you can see there is one car parked around back, so you can assume there's at least one employee at this vet clinic.
Forsaken, do you sense, before we go in there, do you sense anything radioactive? Do you feel anything?
Forsaken, if there is anything radioactive in there, it's not turned on or active at this moment.
Yeah, Banba, I'm not sensing anything in there, but that's not to mean that there's not anything in there. It's just that if there is, it's turned off.
All right. Stay out here for me real quick. I'm gonna go in and figure something out. I'm gonna head on in.
You enter, it's a rather nondescript room, really. You've seen waiting rooms in in hospital TV shows, and even a couple of vet waiting rooms in other TV shows. This is almost indistinguishable from any other waiting room. There's one lady at the reception table, and she kind of looks up very surprised. She pushes her thick-rimmed glasses up higher onto her nose, and she goes, "Oh, how can I help you?" And she kind of pauses for a second. You don't seem to have an animal here. Shakes her head. But how can I help you?
Hi, my name's Banba. A neighbor of mine, their dog recently just got stuck like underneath a fence, and they got him out. But he hurt his paw. They're not sure if it's serious. You're the closest clinic we could find, so I was already on my way here. So do you guys have like anything that could help him? Like, I don't know, get a scan or
I
something?
mean, we have an X-ray machine for broken legs and the like, yeah. That's well within our capabilities of doing. She kind of has a puzzled look on her face. Most vet clinics have that type of machinery unless they're really, really small. She goes,
Sorry,
uh,
no need to take an offense. They're just new in town. They have one across town, but you are the closest.
but yeah, just tell your friend to bring the animal on in and I'll take a look at it. I mean, it's just me here, but you know. She makes a gesture. She goes, "You can see the plethora of customers I have," and she kind of makes a disappointed sigh.
Don't worry, things will hopefully change for the better in this town. What's your name, by the way?
She goes, "Oh, I'm." She kind of just sighs. She goes, "Is it really that important?"
Well, you're the only one holding the fortress down, so if you're going to be the savior of my neighbor's pet, I would like to know.
My name's Brittany.
Nice to meet you, Brittany. Oh, how soon should I tell them to come by? Do you have a closing time anytime soon?
If it's an emergency, I can be on call, but I mean, we're open, office hours till 5.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you again.
She kind of sighs and waves as you begin to leave. You can kind of tell that she has not had a customer or anybody stop by in a very long time, and her behavior is probably just because she was so confused that somebody actually came in.
Yeah, her customer service, I give you 3 stars out of 5. I'm gonna head back out to Forsaken. I'm gonna stop forgetting his name. Follow me. I'm gonna start heading, just walking back to the way we came up down the block. So they have something to scan, and I believe radioactive. So we're gonna hang around till 5. Think you can wait that long till we can get something for you?
I think I'll be okay.
All right, let's just hang around here or something until it closes. I think it's only her for the moment. Doesn't look all that popular to stop by.
As you begin to wait the hours, you can see that it's not necessarily that it's her vet clinic that is quiet. The entire road within the hours that you wait, you maybe see a total of 3 cars. So it's not really that this is an unpopular vet clinic or whatever. You can just tell there just aren't people anymore.
Okay, so
Roughly,
run down side of town.
roughly around 5:30. You can see Brittany getting into her car and take off. Luckily, she leaves out through the back way of the parking lot to go wherever she's going, most likely home. So she actually doesn't come towards you guys. She actually goes in the opposite way, since this parking lot has multiple entrances that you can go in and out of.
Okay. He said 5:30. Let's wait a little bit longer, just in case if she forgot something. How's
I agree.
Forsaken looking?
Forsaken looks the same as he does. The bandages have unfortunately soaked through at this point.
Dang it. Okay. Just a little longer.
6 rolls around. The sun is still bright. Not super high in the sky, but still fairly bright, with it being June. But the road is quiet again. It's been 30 minutes. She hasn't come back.
Gonna... How the clinics are made. I'm gonna swing around to the back.
You can see there's a large outdoor chain fence segment that presumably would house dogs of some sort, you could guess. If there were any dogs at this clinic, there doesn't seem to be any outside, at least. There is a back door, if you want to try doing anything with that.
Security cameras or
No.
anything?
Not that you can see, no.
Okay. Just in case. Banba is gonna pull out of his pocket a bandana, one for him and one for Forsaken, just to cover our face for just in case, you know.
Okay.
Man, Forsaken's gonna charge 1 pyros so that I can use that first stone if I have to.
Alright, go ahead and burn the pyros then.
That makes me worry. I'm gonna try to unlock the door.
That will be dexterity plus larceny.
30. What do I have? Okay, 3 plus larceny. I knew I should put more larceny. I got 4. Not half bad.
The lock gives.
Any alarms, signals, pings that I hear?
Not that you can hear, no.
Okay, I step in, making sure I keep my bandana up on my face.
You enter into what seems to be a back hallway. As you look about, the lights are turned off, so it's relatively dim on the inside, but there's enough windows that there's, ambient lighting, so to speak. You can, as you look back and forth, you see that this is a hallway that contains mostly patient rooms. As you enter further, you can see that the hallway turns off to the left. Can't see down that hallway until you go further into the current hallway that you're in. But as you look at each of these rooms, they're just empty patient rooms.
Okay. I'm gonna look for the MRI scan type of room. I'm gonna leave the door cracked. I'm not gonna close it.
Forsaken, are you going in with Banba?
Yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of following behind silently until we find something.
Alright, it doesn't take you too long after you turn down the left hallway. You're able to find a medicinal room, and then you are able to find... Well, actually give me an intelligence plus medicine check. here.
Oh, medicine. Hey, medicine. That makes 4. Come on. Dang it.
Both Forsaken and Banba are able to locate what, from what they can tell, looks like an X-ray machine. It's relatively small. Obviously, it was designed for use on pets. But it is what you guys think an X-ray machine looks like from the shows and that you've watched.
Cool. So, step right on in and I'll flip the switch. Keep an eye out towards the door.
Yeah, beggars can't be choosers. Let's do this.
You realize very, very quickly, though, as I previously had stated, this isn't designed for humans. So it's going to be a struggle to set it up in such a way for it
You
to...
just, like, sit next to it?
And you quickly come to the realization, Banba, as once you've jerry-rigged a position that it should work in, you have no real idea how to start this machine.
There's typically a switch on near the doorway, like in the hallway. So is there any switches or buttons? It's usually pointed out.
This... I'm gonna need a... Yeah, we'll go ahead and just do another intelligence plus medicine.
She's rolling for what?
To figure out how to work the X-ray machine.
Oh. It's usually a button. Just press all the buttons.
No.
Your memory of one of these shows kicks in, Banba, and you just begin to throw switches that you remember the person throwing and pressing buttons that you remember that they would press. And all of a sudden, you hear the machine turn on and power up.
Okay.
As it begins to print X-rays, so to speak. I'm using the term print X-rays because that's just the simplest way. You are also aware that one usage of this isn't really all that bad. You know, you've watched enough medical shows that, you know, one use of an X-ray is not that bad. So you assume that you want to make it as bad for a human as possible to make it as good for Forsaken as possible.
So 4 times in one sitting.
Essentially, yeah, you begin to just fire this machine until it breaks, more or less. I'm not saying it actually breaks, I'm just saying that the way you're firing it, it would eventually break down very quickly. As you
Okay.
begin to do this, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to Craig, Aoife, and 4. Aoife, are you still waiting at the front door, or are you also going to start moving around to the back?
Well, I guess we'll start making our way through the back since nobody's screaming, so I guess even if we aren't supposed to kick doors down, your parents don't mind. Alright, let's go.
As you come around the back, you can begin to hear the conversation between Craig, Four, and the voice from the inside. You are able to catch the tail end of a female voice saying, "I gave her to them to protect her."
You gave them. You gave. You? Nah, this doesn't make any sense. They put her in a cage.
Four and Craig, you can hear Aoife mutter that as she comes up behind you.
You
Yeah,
familiar with the definition of protect?
She goes, "I'm protecting her," and then coughing fit obscures whatever else she says.
Protecting her doesn't mean putting her in a cage or giving her to people that put her in a cage.
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be, outside of coughing at this moment, any other response, and this coughing fit seems much longer and rough.
I don't actually step inside. I kind of stay outside, just looking in.
She clings closer to you and she goes, "Is my mommy okay?"
I don't think so. She's coughing a lot.
Roll me a perception check, all of you.
Wits plus. Where's my wits? Wits my wittiness. 3. Okay. Oh.
Greg, you don't notice it until much later than the rest. However, Four and Aoife, you begin to hear what sound like footsteps on wood. It isn't until you see a hand on the door frame inside the house, not in the door frame where you guys are standing outside, but the door frame in between the kitchen and the next room. You see a hand wrap around the door frame, and you see this woman lurch forward. Her skin is almost milky white. Her hair is very unkempt, and the skin on her face is drawn taut. She looks almost emaciated and half dead. Her eyes are completely bloodshot. Her lips are chapped. And you can tell that each step is causing her pained breaths. And that's when another coughing fit starts and she topples to the ground in a heap as her body convulses as she coughs incessantly.
They're not okay.
You feel Aoife's face already buried into your neck. You start to feel the dampness of her eyes pool on your neck as well. This woman, once the coughing subsides a little bit, she begins to kind of pull herself across the floor. Mostly with one arm, dragging is kind of a strong term, but it's the best one that fits here, dragging herself across the floor. Very, very slowly as she can only maybe pull herself half a centimeter or so each stroke of her arm due to what you can assume is weakness. She raises her head to look up at you guys.
What were you trying to protect your daughter from?
She looks at you, Craig, with... Give me, wits plus empathy here.
All right. 3, 2, 5. Ooh, 4 successes.
The look that she gives you makes it very apparent what she was trying to protect her from. As
Oh,
she continues to pull herself across the floor towards you guys.
Oh, I understand that you were trying to protect her because you're sick, but you gave her to the wrong people.
Are you guys still at the door, by the way?
I'm like on the door frame.
And I'd be at the door unless, the person is like crawling as close as they, and if they're like 3 feet away from me, I'm gonna take a step back, but
Alright, so you have taken a step back then.
yeah, I've taken a step back. I am not getting grappled again by another Pandoran.
Craig?
Yeah, he's kind of behind both Aoife and 4.
Alright. So, I need a couple of checks from Craig, Aoife, and 4 here. It is a couple of checks here.
Okay.
I need a stamina plus Azoth roll.
Stamina's 2. My Azoth is 1.
And the question is, do I burn a willpower to not die?
You cannot, this is not a willpower.
No.
Craig. Well, actually, I shouldn't say Craig. Pooter.
Even worse.
Make a note on your character
Okay.
that for all Azoth/Pyros rolls, you take a -3 penalty for anything to do with Azoth or Pyros from here on out.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now, Craig, you are instinctually aware of any Azothic presence in the area normally, which includes yourself. As this woman pulls herself closer, you feel weak. Almost like the Azothic flame inside yourself sputtered a little bit. As if you had a regular flame and somebody was sprinkling water on it. The hissing sound is how you feel almost. Yeah, it does not feel right. Aoife and 4, you can also feel it. You can also feel that his Azothic fire is almost dampening a little bit.
Craig, you okay?
I don't know. I don't feel as good as I did before. I'm gonna go wait in the car because I don't feel very well right now.
Yeah.
Now, I need you guys also now to make me a dexterity plus athletics roll.
We're getting fireballed.
Dex plus what?
Athletics.
Oh, I got. Dex. Do I got Dex? I do got Dex. But I could still roll a 0. Let's see. I
Yep.
did. I dropped the child.
Oh no, we all got fireballed.
The child screams, "My mommy!" and then a wave of energy comes out from that child and sends you all backwards. She kind of lands gracefully on the top step while all of you are blasted backwards. Even the mother is sent flying backwards.
Ow.
You can hear the body, or the mother's body, go thunk across the floor.
Question, kind of mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
I have the brute force merit at 5. The Colossus says I can't suffer knockdown or similar tilts. Any attempt to grapple me or move me from my place suffers strength as a dice penalty. Would that apply here?
This is a supernatural ability. And it's not, you're not getting inflicted with any tilts from it.
Oh, okay.
Less of a knockdown and more of a pushback. But it was strong enough to knock most of you off your feet. With that, I'm not going to say Craig is knocked off of his feet.
But push back still.
Yeah, you felt it push you back.
Okay.
But yeah, so you didn't get knocked off your feet. 4 and Aoife did, especially with Aoife being as close as she was.
Ow.
You were holding her.
Yeah.
But it doesn't inflict any damage to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see the air around her twist, and she is she's not touching the ground anymore. Kira is floating. All you hear is sobbing from her at this moment.
It's okay, Kira. She's just sick, but she's okay.
Is that all you're saying, or are you doing anything else?
I didn't take any damage, right? Like, am I crawling or?
Outside of the initial knockback, there's no persistent waves. So it was just an initial knockback. You can easily get right back up and go up to her or do whatever you want.
Okay. So I go up to her and I try to hug her.
As you wrap your arms around her, her feet touch the ground and she buries her face in your chest and just begins to sob. The mother hasn't, as you look back into the house, the mother hasn't moved from the initial spot where she got knocked back to.
I pick up Kira and I give 4 a look and Craig a look. I don't know what look exactly, more like a concerned look. I'm taking Kira to the cart. Craig, you should probably go to 4. I don't know what you want to do in this situation, but I really think I should probably take Kira back to the car. She's a little upset. And I go walk towards the car.
Craig had already decided he was going to go to the car anyway.
Or
I'm gonna just kind of glance at the what I presume is now a dead body in the back of the hallway. Is it dead?
you can
Is
see
the mother
the body moving slightly, so it's not dead, but probably doesn't have the energy to move any further now after being tossed back like that.
I see now what you wanted to protect her from. However, I fail to see how your plan was gonna fix that. But
You hear a groan as you see the mother's head turn back to look at you. The plan was just so she didn't have to see this.
would you prefer we take her to next of kin? I have a few other addresses and names.
No next of kin. Other than me.
I'm gonna list a couple names that had the same surname that had nearby addresses.
Not relatives. Coincidences, I suppose. Immediately followed by coughing.
Well, this hasn't made it any easier on us, but
She goes, who cares about you? She gives you a very pointed look. Look at this entire block. Realize in each one of those is someone like me. Begins to cough and retches a little bit. You can see as she vomits, it flows out of the side of her mouth, and she kind of lifts her head and adjusts it so she's not laying in her own vomit.
so out of game logistical question, because I'm just curious, how are these people even still alive? Like, surely they've run out of food at this point. Like, their houses are barricaded. Like, surely they all would have starved to death at this point.
Government could be making food drop-offs.
And please keep in mind, I had stated that the doors are only boarded up with an X of red painted 2x4s. That means if the door opens inwards, they can open the door.
I mean, when I hear boarded up, I kind of feel like the door has been... Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I did state specifically the doors are boarded up with two 2x4s laid over each other to make an X, painted red.
So then it's not like a zombie Walking Dead type boarded up.
The windows are. The doors
Oh.
are not.
Okay. Are they sensitive to light? Does the sickness... do they get headache?
Not at the liberty to discuss that with you at this point.
Okay.
One of those situations.
Okay.
Your character wouldn't
I,
have any idea.
Okay. That's fine.
I just kind of mutter, we'll figure something out for her then. And I'm gonna turn around and leave.
She goes, one moment. Does
I
Ford
stop
leave?
turning around and leaving. I re-turn around.
She goes, Well, think about it. Do you really think there is anywhere else for her that I could have sent her with whatever limited things I have? Did I do wrong? I don't have control over other people. People...
Do orphanages just not exist anymore out of game?
Say what?
Do orphanages just, like, were they deleted back in, like, 2022?
They could have lied to her and said they were an orphanage.
She goes... she continues. Look around. There isn't going to be businesses soon. There isn't going to be schools soon. Take a real look at what's going on. And she begins coughing again and kind of begins to try to make her way back further into the house.
I turn around and leave then. I think the door is, but I'm gonna try to set it right.
I didn't foresee you
probably
really
just, like,
breaking
kicked
the
in,
door
but,
when you got in. So, it doesn't take very... You can kind of shut it again. It won't lock again, but you can get it to shut at least. As you return back to the car, Craig, what is going on in your head?
He is very confused. He's never been sick before. He doesn't like being sick. And he wants to know how to fix it.
Aoife?
Oh, can everybody do what she just did?
Was literally what she just thought.
4, as you make your way back into the car.
At least there wasn't a shootout at the school.
Good job, 4.
No, I'm thinking maybe not the smartest idea going to the infected person first, but you know, I never claimed to be smart. I saw first of kin, so that's where we're going. I've got no plan now, though. I have to give me a moment. Don't actually give me a moment. Continue on, but or doesn't know what to do yet.
Well, if we have to think about it, and Craig's not feeling good, and I think Kira's gone through plenty for the day, we should just go back home and maybe think something else and rest a little.
As you guys begin to make your way back to the house then, we're going to go over to Banba and Forsaken. It's taken a while, Forsaken, and X-ray after X-ray. You can, Banba, you can actually hear this machine begin to short out. However, Forsaken, you're no longer leaking. You're not fully healed, but you have no aggravated wounds anymore. Go ahead and remove all aggravated damage and half of your lethal damage.
Alright, give me a sec.
So you're still injured, but you're not nearly as injured as you were.
4 lethal and 4 bashing?
You just have if 4 is half of your lethal if 4 is half your health, then you just have 4 lethal, no bashing.
Okay. Sweet.
It's taken a couple of hours though, Banba, and as stated, you can hear that machine getting ready to give.
I think we probably better stop before it just quits entirely.
All right. Well, since Banba seems to be indisposed, we will go ahead and have Banba and Forsaken go ahead and make their way back to the manor. It will take you some time walking to get there. So, Craig, Aoife, and 4, you arrive back at the manor without Banba or Forsaken being there.
Wonder where they went.
Did they leave a note?
They left you guys that text message. Just
Ah. Well, I'll just send them a text and let them know we're home. And if they need any help, well, we're free. Hey, 4.
Yeah.
It took you a while to get back in the car. Did anything happen with, our parents?
Is the kid here? Of course the kid's here. It's not gonna leave Aoife.
Attached to her.
I whispered.
Realize the kid is still like at your neck. It's gonna hear the whisper. A few words were said, but nothing of great relevance.
What'd she say?
Tried to explain her reasoning. Nothing more.
Craig, the feeling still hasn't gone away, just so you're aware.
I still don't feel very good.
Let's just go in the house.
Maybe if I take a nap.
You have just finished listening to this week's chapter of Promethean the Created, 2nd edition, Fading of the Spark, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener. If you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does it really mean to be human?